Hello and welcome back to News Pursuit. Today I found a video of the June CPI report, and this guy actually explains it pretty well. So I'm going to share this video and talk a little bit about it after it's done.
The CPI is out, inflation is up, and it's not looking too good for the economy or for crypto. Now, when you're reading the CPI report, really what you want to look for is the differential between the last few months. So you want to compare May to June, and then you also want to look at that final number in the last column. That's going to be the unadjusted 12 months. And notice how at the very top we're seeing 9.1% for all items. That is an increase in inflation overall. And to put that 9.1% into perspective, last month we got to 8.6%, so we had a 0.5% increase from May to June. We went from breaking a record that took us 40 years to break to then breaking it the following month. And look at fuel prices jumping from 4.1 in May to 11.2 in June. That's absolutely fucking absurd. And all of this is going to be good news for the bears. Now, moving forward, if we wanted to see something on the CPI that was bullish, you want to start to see these numbers pull down a little bit by month, even if it's by 0.
Okay, so there's not going to be anything that's going to be bullish about the CPI because there's all that inflation's going to happen. The Fed doesn't want to do anything to jack up rates, and it's probably going to happen in the fourth quarter of this year. To be honest, they're not going to mess with anything that's going to increase the CPI because that affects the raise that government programs get, and maybe even government employees. So that'll affect their raise. So it's probably not going to happen until the fourth quarter, and then you can probably see a more aggressive rate hike to try to settle off the inflation for next year. But that's all my opinion or my thoughts on that. I think his numbers were wrong because like year over year, let's see here, CPI. I mean, pretty sure it was like a 1.3, which brings the whole year to where the heck is that? Um, but it should bring it to like a 1.3 percent, which will be like a 15% for the whole year. So it's definitely okay. This is what it's gonna show. Okay, get my bearings straight here. But see, here you go. Latest numbers in June, 1.3% for June. So his numbers were a little bit wrong, but and if it keeps going like that, that sets up for a 15% inflation for the whole year. So you just multiply this number by 12, and this is how it's since this is only 1 month, right? So 1.3 times 12, and that's a 15.6 inflation number. You actually think that the Fed is going to allow that to keep going? They might. I mean, this has happened before under Jimmy Carter, but I doubt it'll happen again. I bet you in the fourth quarter they're going to jack up rates to try to calm down that inflation so it doesn't screw up anything, and then they'll let it ride maybe in the first quarter of next year too, and then you're talking the second and third quarter for the following year. That's when all the fun stuff happens. You got to look at what happens in the third and fourth quarter, or second and third quarter, because that's where they take all their data. So that's the video for today. Thanks for watching.